How are we? Are we good? Great. What did you talk about last time? Who was there? Who was at the last session? I'm going to be like a teacher today. You have to give me a recap of what we talked about. Who was there last time? Were you there? You were there, right? Eh? You were there, right? What do you remember that we spoke about? I think I like this room more than the other one. You like the business block more than this one? Eh? This one feels nicer than the business block. Not really. Okay, what did you talk about last time? Who remembers? Who was okay? Let me see the hands of those who were there last week Tuesday. If you were there, raise your hand. Just raise your hand. I'm not saying that I'm sentencing you to anything. You might win a ticket for the event, you know. Raise your hand if you are there. Okay, I see my guys there. Okay, the ladies here. You were not there last week. Okay. Okay. Mr. Mess, what did you talk about last time? We were taught on what?
We were being taught on living an authentic life.
An authentic life.
Yeah.
What is an authentic life? What do you remember that was said? These guys were not there, so we want them to understand what we learned last week.
All right. What I remember about living an authentic life is that you have to be genuine to yourself, have self-integrity. You don't have to live outside the limits that you have for yourself.
You're saying it correctly. You're saying it good.
Error.
All right.
Being genuine and having self-integrity.
That's good. So we were taking on living an authentic life. And I remember I spoke about I gave an illustration of a monkey and the bananas. You remember that? If we bring a bunch of bananas on my right side and we put $1 million on my left side and put a monkey in front of us, definitely the monkey is not going to go to the $1 million. It's going to go to the bananas, right? Even though the $1 million can buy it a plantation that it can be eating the bananas all its life long. But it's conditioned to think that this is what makes me to survive. And so people who are conditioned to survive never live their best lives. They never live their best lives. They are after, I think some of you who are probably first year students here, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right? Do you remember them? What are they? Give me one. What are the human needs that are necessary for survival? Shelter, food, what? Water? Okay, those, right? So an average person would think that when I have these things, I am okay. As long as I have a place to go and sleep, I have something to eat, I am fine. Now, let's stretch it more. A lot of people would go to school while you are in high school, junior high, or junior secondary school. You are taught about education is the key to success. And the idea out of that is get good results, O-level or A-levels, and then go to the university, get some course, 3 years, probably 4 years, you are doing some engineering, 5 years law, or whatever it is. And you have a greater chance at life. All of those things, unbeknown to us, they are conditionings. They are conditioning us to think that when you have a degree, you will live a good life. But guys, newsflash, there are so many graduates that are not working right now. I don't know if I remember the number correctly the other day. They said around 70,000 or something like that. There are so many graduates that are not working. Some years ago, when the premier started, we had some guys here. There was one guy, he's still in my mentoring program. This guy was at FED. He was doing mining engineering. And then he completed his mining engineering after 5 years. Spent about 4 years And in those 4 years, he never got any job, except little things here and there. Today, he is in the insurance industry. 5 years mining engineering, now in the insurance. I hope I'm saying it right. I think it's in insurance. Yeah. Now in the insurance. There are people who go to the university, you do this course, and you end up doing another thing. But the conditioning makes you to think that, oh, I need to get good education, get a good job. Once I have a good job, I can get a car on an installment of, it used to be 5 years. I think they are now on 6 or something. You pay the car for 5 years. After that, I can get a mortgage and get a house. Then you pay for the house for the next 25 years. That's the conditioning of it. And then you retire. Everyone getting into the workplace. I want a permanent and pensionable. They feel like when they got that, it's a conditioning like the monkey. And the whole purpose of us coming here and talking about self-mastery, self-discovery, is so that you can know who you are and what you are able to do, so that you don't box yourself. A research was done, and they took a frog. They took a frog. Was it a frog or some flies? I think it was some flies. So they put them in a jar, lid on top. So they were jumping to the level of the lid, hitting the lid and going down, hitting the lid and going down. And then they removed the lid. But their minds were conditioned to, we jump as high as this. That has conditioned you to think that if you don't come from a certain family, you will not achieve certain things. What has conditioned you to think that? I remember in my days at the university, there were courses that were regarded like it is for smart people. If you are doing law, if you are doing engineering, if you are doing medicine. And they will make fun of other students who are in other faculties. In fact, they call them others. They classified them as others. And you will see engineering students. I was in Durban. You will see engineering students walking around with engineering t-shirts, the pride of it. You will see the law students with the sweaters from their law faculty, Howard College. You will see the medical students. They will be walking around with their medical t-shirts and all of that. And the rest were others, whether you were a Bachelor of Commerce in accounting, or you were doing whatever, humanities or the arts or whatever it was. Now you'll find that somebody will be thinking, because I'm not doing law, because I'm not doing engineering, then life is not going to be as good for me. No, life is what you make it to be. And that's why we are here, so that you understand. Life is what you make it to be. Ladies and gentlemen, hear this and understand it. There are poor lawyers and there are rich lawyers. There are poor professors and there are rich professors. There are poor engineers and there are rich engineers. The beauty and the dignity of what you do is not in what you are doing, but it is in how you are doing it. You are the one who brings dignity to what you are doing. There are people who are multi-millionaires simply because they started cleaning companies. And imagine when that person starts a cleaning company and it's like, oh, you clean people's houses. You clean offices. And this person builds their company because they have the mind to build the company. And the company becomes a multinational company, goes to different countries, and they open branches here and there, other nations and other countries, and they are making billions. Last week we talked about how now we have the space of influencers. You don't need anything much to be an influencer. If you have a likable personality, you just see somebody getting online and there is a dance challenge. They just dance. And the thing is like 1 minute and they post it. By the time they wake up tomorrow, it has 300,000 views. What? And then you are coming, somebody comes like me. I do what I call my random thoughts every day. You should follow me on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Every day, I do those random thoughts. I'm bringing like things that will change your mind. Yeah, these are intellectual matters. And then after 24 hours, I have like 8,000 views. I'm like, what? And that girl who was like, she has 300,000. What? And then one company says, we are releasing some new products. They bypass me and they go to that girl because if that girl drops a video, it will gain them a mileage. People will see it. So something new has come on the scene. Ladies and gentlemen, understand this. Stop boxing yourself. There is more you can be. There is more you can achieve. Yes, do your education, get your degree, your diploma, get your master's degree, your PhD. But there is more to you than a course. There is more to you than a graduation. There is more to you than what life says you are. Sometimes we come from families that maybe you are the first one to go to varsity. Or we come from families that are well achieved. Your father has a doctorate. Your mother has an MBA. You are the last born of 3. Your 2 elder siblings, one is doing their masters. The other one is an engineer. Now there is so much pressure on you to be something. And if you go to your dad and say, Papa, Nike I've been on TikTok. You know that your father won't take that easily. Like sometimes they will even tell you, when you are serious. I played soccer when I was growing up. I was playing soccer. I played for the under 7, I played under 12, under 15, and under 17. I was about to be selected for the under 17, going for the selection of the under 17 national team. And my brother told me that I should be serious with school and leave playing football. Now, this is many years ago. This should be 1997. Yeah, 1997. You were not born, right? I know. I have 3 white beards. Don't worry. 1997. So I left soccer and I got into my academics full time. And I'm like, when I think that Lionel Messi makes $12,000 per hour. Per hour, wanaga. Hey, per hour. Guys are earning $12 million, $24 million per annum. Now, translate or change that to the Botswana Pullers. $12 million times what? If we say times 10, maybe times 12 or 13 or somewhere there. That's over 120 million pula. For one person. For doing what? Kicking a ball. Kicking a ball. And that excludes endorsements. Like sponsorships and Adidas this other one. It excludes those. You see how life has given everyone a chance to participate, to make themselves whatever they want to be. So whatever you are not going to be, you don't have an excuse and say, Mama didn't do this, Papa didn't do this. Even if you come from the poorest family, you can get online. Some years ago, I discovered a gentleman who was in the sports. He was in the javelin throwing area, and I think he's from Kenya. And when this guy was asked, he won the Olympic gold, I think, for one of those years. And then he said he learned how to throw the javelin through YouTube. He didn't have a coach. He would watch his YouTube, go and throw. And then he went to represent. See, when you are coming from countries like Kenya or Botswana, and maybe you are playing something that an average person doesn't play. Like if you come from Botswana and say you are ice skating. Nobody knows ice skating around here. So there are higher chances that you are the only one to represent the country. They are just sending you there. And the guy won the gold medal. Tebogo Letsile, 200 meters Olympic champion. I don't think Tebogo has gone to university. I don't think so. The other day I saw him with his beautiful livestock and his Land Cruiser. But he used his talent. And that's why this evening I want to talk to you on the power and purpose of self-discovery. The power and purpose of self-discovery. The greatest discovery in life is self-discovery. If you discover every other thing in life, you can discover whatever, any other thing, and you never discover yourself, you have missed the most important discovery in life. Until you discover yourself, you will live your life as someone else and never yourself. Let me give you the 4 questions that every human being must answer. 4 questions that everyone must answer. The first question is, who am I? That question speaks of identity. Who am I? Keman. Ask your neighbor, who are you? It speaks of your identity. Who are you? So, when we ask you who you are, can you give us a description of who you are without telling us what you are doing? If I ask, who are you? The first thing that comes to you is your name. Can you come and tell us about yourself? You come up here. My name is Boaro Frank Ramorapi. I am a motivational speaker. No, that's not who you are. That's what you do. That's not who you are. That's what you are referred to for distinguishing among human beings. So this gentleman here is called Freddy. I am called Boaro. That's not who he is. That is the name to distinguish between men. But it's not who he is. Who are you? Is a question you must answer. The second question is, why am I here on earth? Why am I here? Why am I here? That question will cause you to answer or to know your purpose. Why am I here? Why was I not born in the 1800s? Why was I not born in KwaZulu-Natal and I come from the Zulu clan? Why was I not born to a Caucasian family? Why was I not born to a Hispanic family? Why did I come at the period that I came? Why am I here? It's a question of purpose. The third question is the question of what can I do? What can I do is a question that will make you to sit down and discover your potentials. What can I do? I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on this as I round up later on. What can I do? That is, what are my potentials? The final question is, where am I going in this life? Now that I know who I am, now that I know why I am here, now that I know my potentials, what kind of end do I want to have? Some years ago, I was a student at the university. This should be the year 2002. I was a student at the University of Natal, now University of KwaZulu-Natal. And right after one lecture, I got to realize there was a group of people gathering in one lecture theater. So I got in and I heard that there was one author who brought a book and he's just distributing for free. So I got this little booklet. I think I still have it in my library. And then I got in, sat at the back, and this gentleman said a statement. He said, what do you want to be written in your obituary? Botsono Jamus. Never heard that before. And he said, write the obituary that you want to be in your program on the day that you are being buried. And then live to make it a reality. As in, like, when a person is deceased, on the day they are buried, you get the program at the back, you are seeing the obituary. This person was a PhD holder, had a wife, had so many children, did this and this and this and this and that. That is the life of the deceased, right? So this gentleman was saying to me, however you want the life of the deceased, as in like yourself, what you want to be written on the obituary, write it now. Since you are not that, live your life to ensure that it becomes a reality. So if by the time you depart this earth, you want to be referred to as a doctor, then invest in your education until you get your doctorate. If you want to be at a funeral that The elite have come because of the impact you have made in the community. Write it down that on the day that I'm going to be buried, there will be presidents and ambassadors and the international community. Write it down. And then discipline yourself and live the life that will ensure it comes to pass. Some years ago, I got a statement from John C. Maxwell. It became one of our key statements in our Le Premiers of back then, 2015 and all of that. And I said what John C. Maxwell said. John C. Maxwell said, great people make great decisions early in life, and they live to manage those decisions. Great people, they make great decisions early in life, and then they live their lives to manage that decision. An example would be, you make a decision that says, I'm going to be a man of integrity, a woman of integrity. I'm going to be a hard worker. And then every day, even when you have the temptation to sleep, to not study, to not go to work, to not meet the deadlines, you now manage the decision of, I long decided I want to be a man of integrity. No matter who's presenting a tempting opportunity of, let's falsify the document and get the tender. No, Ghana, if we can do this, you are like, I want to be a man of integrity. That led me to a statement that I came up with that time, that don't do today what you don't want discovered tomorrow. Because only great people are investigated of their past. See, right now there is somebody who is walking the streets of this nation or outside the country, and that person probably doesn't even know that he's going to be a president one day. 10, 20 years from now, that person decides to run to be a president, and they become a president. Only when that individual becomes a president, the newspaper, journalists, and all of that will be investigating, who is this person? Where do they come from? And then we are discovering that they have a master's degree in this and that. They will now go to the institution. Did this person really get a master's degree? Only to find that Nabadrisa did drive. Only to find that they were bribing the lecturers. And at the time that they get to the top of their life, that's when the skeletons of their past come forth. Don't do today what you don't want discovered tomorrow. You have to ask the question of, where am I going? What are my non-negotiables in life? Guys, life is going to present to you the good, the bad, and the ugly opportunities. It is up to you to make great decisions early and live to manage those decisions. I said this statement, and one young man, very intelligent young man, he was a student here at the University of Botswana, and unbeknown to me, that statement got to him. At the time he had the statement for the first time, and I was rehearsing these statements every Tuesday. He had 5 girlfriends. Yeah, I know, right? 5 girlfriends, and they did not know. It was not like an arranged polygamy they are aware. He was just juggling on these girls. And he said, I have great dreams. Why am I doing this? That when I get to my greatness, they will discover what I used to do when I was at university in the days of my foolishness. He didn't talk to me. He just broke up with all those girls and said, I'm putting my life on the straight path. Some few months later, that's when he told me about the story. He said, sir, you said this statement. This is how I was living my life, and I had to clean up. See, when we are making decisions when we are younger, it's like we don't think we'll ever grow. He just decided to mess around with somebody's boyfriend. And you knew the person had a boyfriend. And you are like, one night only. One night only. Is that a song like that? There is a song like that. Really? No. Yeah. And then one night can turn into a lifetime of a nightmare. The girl is pregnant. You are 19. Baby is coming. Wawarama Maori. The father of the baby doesn't want to be involved in the whole thing. May even look at you and say, hey, Aralemol. I know somebody somewhere. Now you are like, yeah, I'm still young too. I'm 18. I'm not ready for this. And then you decide to get some tablets, mess up yourself. Tomorrow when you say, I want to settle and have kids, your womb is messed up. It's one thing after the other. So while you are young, make the right decisions early. Answer the questions that are important, which are going to help you to get to the destination that you desire. Many people struggle with the question of identity. That's why they are trying to be like others every day. When you see somebody who looks like they got life going on, maybe if I was like so and so. So they want to dress in a certain way to fit in certain social clubs. So you want to look like a certain person. If I was to use an iPhone 17 Pro Max, I want the orange one. And it costs 25,000 pula, 256 GB. But why are you going to get 25,000 pula? Life being life. It's like sometimes life listens to our thoughts and just arranges things around. The day that you are looking at on the internet and you are seeing this iPhone and you're like, but I want it. And you say, I want it by all means. Tomorrow, by all means, somebody hits you up on social media. Hey, babe. You don't reply, but you go to their FYP. You realize, he looks moneyed. And every day you go hoping that he will message again because you don't want to play like you are easy to get. So let him message again. He messages, hi. And then you reply. Because you are thinking you want an iPhone 17 Pro Max, 2 terabytes of 35,000 bucks or 40,000. If I have that phone, I'm going to be looked somehow. Look, this is not always on the negative side that people are seeking identity. Sometimes it's on the positive. Oh, if I marry a woman from a rich family, then I'll be like, people will think that I'm the person. If I get married to a rich man, now that I'm doing engineering, I want to marry a woman who is a lawyer. Imagine, engineer, lawyer. I make my 50,000, she makes a 25, 40,000 together. Our life will be nicer. You are not in a love relationship. You are in a career relationship. Hanganyana lekgowa. Go batla lekgowa. No. Let's just be honest about it. Isn't that where the conditioning comes in? And please, my yellow bone people, take it nicely when I say this one. Isn't it that some people sometimes, when you have just passed, like what's wrong with being dark complexion? When somebody helps you a lot and is always giving you money, you get what I'm talking about? And we now want to dress in a certain way. If I'm wearing some Zara clothes, if I'm wearing some Gucci, if I'm wearing some this, then people are going to think that I am a person. So people are putting themselves in trouble. You buy a car you can't afford, stay in a neighborhood you can't afford, just so you can have a certain image. Because you have not discovered yourself. You have not answered the question of identity. Why don't you want people to know where you come from? Because you are thinking, I don't come from a house that I come from some heart, so I don't want people to know. Don't hide your mama, don't hide your dad, don't hide your background. My parents never went beyond standard 7, and I'm okay with it. My father never earned more than 2,000 pula of his job, and I'm okay with it. But they made me who I am. I saw them working to ensure that we have a good life. And I'm the last born at home. And here I am today, motivating you. But because people think that if people were to know I don't come from a well-off family, they may look at me somehow. You don't want it to be known that you went to a Tswana medium. What's wrong with Tswana medium? I never went to kindergarten. Now I started directly standard 1. In my days, no I went to kindergarten. No, it was called a crash. I never did any of those things. When I was younger, 4, 5, and then I think 5. I don't know. Directly, I entered. I never did all those crests. No. I just entered direct. Here I am inside. Yeah, remote. From a primary school in Palap. Yeah. From there I went to Mapula Primary School in Palap. Sona Medium. From there was any senior. Sona Medium. I never stayed out of Palap more than 2 weeks in all my life until I finished Form 5. Yeah. And those 2 weeks, you know what happened? It was a school trip. It was a school trip. Standard 7. Standard 7, we went to Kanye, Koriki, and then we went to BMC, Kolobate, and then we were Palapi. That was the longest I've ever been away from Palapi. Yeah. The next time was when I was coming here, my sister was working here, and then going to varsity, and then I went to varsity in Durban. Yeah. You don't have to be ashamed of your past. You don't have to be ashamed of what it is that is making you. Answer the question of identity. You don't want to get your identity from things. There are times you don't need to do your makeup. Just go bare. Accept yourself. You don't have to conceal things. Leave your marks as they are. There are times you have to rock your hair the way it is, as kinky as it is. But people think if I go out and I've not done my makeup, I won't look nice. If I don't have a boyfriend, people think that I'm not cute enough. So you stick with men, with girls, in relationships that you're not happy just because you want to feel like you are loved, you are beautiful, you are cute, you are handsome. Many people live below their abilities because they have not discovered or rather answered the question of potential. What can I do? Have you ever asked yourself a question of what can you do? What can I do? Because we have not answered the question of identity. Even the things that we can do, we demean them. We look down on them. We look down on them. Some of you sitting here today, chances are you are a good singer, you are good with repairing electronic stuff, but because you think, I never went to school for it, you take it for granted. You can graphic design, but you take it for granted. Oh, you can plait hair, but because you are thinking, I don't know how. No, you can make money out of it. You can have a saloon that is going to have multiple platforms: Gaborone, Francistown, Harare, Johannesburg, Lusaka, and that is just Hologa. There is a barber shop around. Legends. Is it Legends? Legends barber shop. I think they have 2 in Gaborone. They have 2. It comes from South Africa. They franchised it here. I think the gentleman who started it was working in a bank or something like that. And one day just felt like, this is not me. Told his boss, I'm leaving. To do what? To go and run my barber shop. The boss laughed at him. And he resigned. But right now, Legends has hairbrushes, beard oils, all kinds of products around barbering. They are in major areas. You get to the airports, you find their stalls there, they are cutting hair, and they don't cut for probably a 50 puller under a tree somewhere because they now branded themselves well. It is not what you do that matters, it is how you do it. So don't look down on what you can do. Some of you are very good with animals. You are very good with animals. You love animals, livestock, cows, goats. You are very good with them. But because you want to look sophisticated, 21st century, just because you are intelligent, that you got 48 points does not mean that you must be a medical doctor. That you can qualify for any course does not mean that you should do that which answers the question of what can I do? Now, some years ago, there is a gentleman called Dr. Miles Monroe. I don't know how many of you know him. Dr. Miles Monroe, he is late. We were privileged to host him in 2013. He passed on 2014, I think. And Dr. Miles Monroe, when we hosted him in 2013, he leaned over to me and he said to me, you are not a one-dimensional being. And he said, live your life to be everything you can ever be. That is locked within you, ladies and gentlemen, are different abilities. You don't just have to be a teacher or a lawyer or an engineer. No, you can be an engineer who is owning a farm. You can be an engineer owning a farm and also having a saloon and also having a soccer team. As long as those treasures, abilities, and inclinations are inside you, you can become them. Anybody you call rich did not become rich through one platform of life. How many of you have ever heard of Bill Gates? The name Bill Gates. Have you ever heard of the name Bill Gates? If you are not raising your hand, you are suspicious. When we say Bill Gates, most people are thinking Microsoft, right? That's in the, IT or whatever, technology. But do you know that Bill Gates is the largest owner of farmland in America? He has more farms than any other person in America by virtue of the hectares that he owns countrywide. Guys, America is so big. It's not like Botswana that you are driving from here to Maung, and America probably is like coming from Kasani to Cape Town. To drive from here to Cape Town, if you go by bus, it will take like 18 hours from Gaborone to, maybe even from Joburg, 18 hours. So imagine coming from Kasani to Joburg, and then America is so big. So there are many Americans. And yet, this gentleman, who is known through Microsoft, is the largest farm owner in America. There are so many things you can be, you can do in this life. Play sports, do pageantry, plait hair, cut hair, write books, do poems, release music, get into the tech industry, anything and everything that you can do. Supply some stuff, buy from China, distribute, whatever you can do. Look, people are going to call you a hustler, but they are not going to deny your financial muscle. Regisa magwinya. If you got a regisa magwinya, they will be, mama gwinya. Or regisa magwinya while you are staying on campus and you are doing your second year. While they are depending on allowance only, you also got money from your fat cakes. Right? And it's not even about the fat cakes. You know what it's about? It's about expressing what is in you. You may not even sell fat cakes forever, but you have taught your mind, you have taught your system that anytime we want to do something, we go for it. An average person is scared of expressing what it is that they can do. So they always live a skeptical life. They always live a life of holding back. You are thinking of selling some fat cakes. You're like, if I sell fat cakes, what will the people say? It just exists in your mind and it never comes forth. And then tomorrow you see somebody saying, I started selling fat cakes. Now I sell diamonds. And the person says, my sales abilities did not start when I started selling diamonds. They started with the fat cakes when I was at varsity doing second year. I learned how to relate with clients. There were some students that I would give fat cakes for free, give them fat cakes on credit and get the money, and others I would get them to subscribe. And if you subscribe per month, you get. That's where my idea of selling and relating with clients came from. My charm for clients came from that. Now I'm selling precious stones, gold and diamonds and this and that. You see, we think that you do big things when you are big. Big things start when you are small, right where you are. It is unfortunate that our environment makes us to think that a time will come when we will be adults, we will be mature, and that's when we can take responsibility. How many of you know iShow Speed? iShow Speed, you know iShow Speed? If you don't know him, every name that I'm mentioning you don't know, go and find it out. All right? iShow Speed, I don't know how old iShow Speed. I don't even think he's 25. He's less than that, I think. 24? He's 24 years old. iShow Speed makes crazy money. Guy is traveling the world. He'll just say, I'm coming to India, or I'm going to South America, or I'm doing the Africa tour. And he made money out of what? Out of his content. online. Out of his content. I don't even think Aisha Speed went to university. I don't think he did. I'm not sure. There is so much you can do. Don't limit your life to the one thing that you think you are going to be. Are we together? Sometimes the conditioning of our environment is exactly the enemies of our lives, where we are made to think that if you have failed maths at school, you are a failure. I failed maths, I didn't fail life. You may be in a wrong course, you are not in a wrong life. See, here is my story. I went to 3 universities and did 4 courses, and I failed all of them. That's me. University of Natal, I started with engineering. Engineering showed me stars. 1 year, I left. And then I went to do BCom in accounting. I did it 1.5 years. Failed and discontinued. They told me, leave now, go back home. I left South Africa to come back to Botswana. Told my parents one lie, why I'm back. I lied. Now, DTF can't sponsor me anymore. And then I apply. Hey, what's up? I apply for UB, this UB. I get admitted to do BSc. And I come here. Professor Lungu, who left the other day, he was Dr. Lungu that time, G12, 7 a.m., Meds, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, 7 to 10, I think. That was me every day. And then one day, I was to go for an exam. I looked at the exam room like this, and there was something in me that said, what are you doing here? At that time, I was coming to school because my parents said they will sponsor me, but not because I wanted to come back to school. So I looked at the exam room at the door and I said, what am I doing here? And I went back. I had studied and prepared. And then I failed. Now, I could have gone for it because this is my parents' money, right? How many people are in the wrong things because there is a pressure from somewhere? So I left and I told them, I don't know what happened. My results are not correct. Yeah. This one, that one. I will ask them to remark. It never entered anywhere. And for a long time, guys, I felt like even after I built myself doing motivation and going from one company to the other, diamond companies, this one, that one, things that gave me credibility, I still felt like I need to graduate. If I don't graduate, I'm not there. And at this point, I'm making like 10,000 pula per hour of a presentation. What people make in a month, I was making in an hour. But make it feel like a shorter saying. Why? Because the conditioning of life said, you must graduate, have a degree, and that's when life will be good. But I was in a good space at this point. Married, children, taking care of my family, my marriage is good, my children are good, I'm doing well, you would say. But I felt like Kishota said, and you know what I did again? I enrolled for another course. One time, I went for that course the first year. They were teaching us basic things that I knew. And I'm seeing people that were in my class, they didn't know what they are doing. But actually, I'm like, so one day I was by the parking. I parked outside and I'm there waiting to get into the lecture theater, and I'm like, nah. I think this was the second week of my course. Second week. I said, no. I had already paid for the whole year. I said, no, this is not me. Following day, I called the admin. I said, refund me. Something came up, I can't do the course. Refund me my whole year's money. I'm not doing this. Now, that one, I did not leave the course because I failed. I left it because I was getting in touch with my real self. I was getting in touch with my real self. Until you discover yourself, you will forever live feeling like something is missing in you. It has been discovered that only 25% of the people in the world, they live a purpose-driven life. They have discovered their purpose 8 billion people in the world, only 25% they have discovered their purpose. And Rick Warren said the greatest tragedy in life is to live a life without purpose. Now, listen to this as I close. The word purpose by itself, if I had something to write on, there's nothing to write on. Is there something? All right, give me that. Look at this. Where should I write? This side. Now, if I write the word purpose, it is made of two words. Right? Can you see? It is made of two words. Purpose. Pose. Purpose. Now, let me explain those and then I'm done with you. The word P-U-R, per, it means to set forth beforehand. It means something that is without blemish, something that is in its purest form. And then pose means suggested before time, intended suggestion. Okay? So if we put these two together, purpose will mean the purest intentions that were set beforehand. Before you came here on earth, what purpose is it that has been laid out for you to live in that purpose? You don't belong everywhere, you belong somewhere. See, when you find yourself in your own lane, you no longer have competition. No matter how well you run in a race at the Olympics, maybe 200 meters or 100 meters, if you step on somebody's lane, even if you break the current record, you are disqualified. Are you getting what I'm talking about? You must discover your lane in life. The time that when you walk in it, even when people are achieving certain other things, you are happy with yourself. Listen, if your life is in the farm, don't bother yourself with city girls. That the girls are in the city makeup, 32-inch Peruvian, and we're now very doable, and that fulfills you. Be happy with you. Don't say, I wish I was like them. As long as you have not discovered purpose, you will be wishing you were other people. And everything that looks like it, everyone that looks like they are living life to the fullest, you will be desiring to be them. Look at the fakeness of this world. You know how many people that probably the people we are seeing on social media, Instagram, who will be telling you it's like they are in a private jet going somewhere. Some of you who will know what I'm talking about right here. There's a thing called green screen. People shoot pictures in a green screen. The green screen, they will have like at the background like this, it's all green. It's a green cloth. Once you have the green cloth, when you edit from the green cloth, you can put the person in any background. Now you'll be thinking this person went to Bali. The person never went to Bali. They took the Bali background, slotted it in, and this girl looks like they are Usheta live. Some time back, we discovered how some girls who are going to go to Dubai are being abused. They can be earning 80,000 puller. But 80,000 puller after doing what? Can I just say it? All those Arabic guys there, they will be shitting on them. Yeah, they will be shitting, urinating on them. Open your mouth. Urinating on them. And then they say swallow. And they pay you 80,000. Terrible, right? But you see, the only way for you to not get there is to define your life in advance. What is it that you want to get by? Don't look at one young lady in the university who's dating a married man and think, oh, this one is terrible. There was a time she never thought she could do this. Life can push you in a corner that you do the things you never thought you could do. But you must define yourself and your boundaries, discover yourself, your purpose ahead of time, and say, this is my path. I will not step outside my path as long as I live. The purpose of a thing is designed by the user, but it is determined by the creator. I can use, do you have anything? No, not that. I can use my phone. Let's say probably I'm cooking and I'm making some stew, and I take my phone and I steer the stew with it. It's my phone, right? I would have steered it, right? But I would have messed up the phone. For me to know what to use my phone for, I must connect to the idea and the intention of the manufacturer. This phone is not a cooking utensil. Some people think that because they have life, they can do anything with it. You can go anywhere. No. What did the Maker design you for? That is your lane. That is your purpose. How then can I discover this purpose? Let me give you 3 points and then I'm done with you. To discover your purpose, discover these 3 purposes, these 3 questions that you must ask yourself. Who am I called to serve? Based on my abilities, who can I serve? Let's say you are a musician. I serve people in the entertainment, right? So the people I'm serving is the people that wants to be entertained. All your gifts are made to serve somebody. If you have a teaching gift, then you are made to serve students, right? If you have a driving ability, then you are made to serve clients as a taxi driver. Who am I called to serve? Who can I benefit from my gifts, my talent, and my personality? That's the way to discover purpose. The second way. What problems am I called to solve? Listen to this, guys, in my closing. You are paid in life based on the problems you are solving. The magnitude of the problems you are solving determines the magnitude of your results. If you solve small problems, you will be rewarded small money. Let me give you an example. You get to some premises of probably an auditing firm around here. You get there, you find that there is one nice lawn garden area that is nicely manicured and all of that. And then when you get there, you find one gentleman watering the grass and all, right? In the sun, 42 degrees Celsius, and he's earning probably 2,500 per month, right? And then you get inside, 4th floor, 6th floor, there is an office as big as this lecture theater, air conditioned, everything nice in it, with a guy wearing a powerful suit of 20,000 pula. And this guy is earning 200,000 per month. Between the guy in the sun and the guy in the air-conditioned room, question maybe who should earn more? This guy is more comfortable, so he's not too much disadvantaged. The question is, what problems are they solving? Your problems decide your rewards. The problems you solve rather decide your rewards. So ask yourself the question of, what problems can I solve? Always walk around life looking for problems and then solve them. If the students around the university you are in are complaining about something, this, that, find a way to solve that problem. If the internet is always slow in the dormitories and all of that, buy yourself a Starlink. Put it above where you stay. And then the coverage of it is a little bit bigger. And then rent it out. 1 hour, $20. Never join the people who are complaining. Listen to those who are complaining and find a solution for them. Be a problem solver. Anytime you are solving problems, it is your easiest way to discover your purpose. And finally, how can I solve these problems? Now that I have asked the question of who is out there that has issues, what problems are those? Now, how can I solve those problems? That's where you start thinking. When people are complaining, get online and research. Find out solutions. Our nation right now is at a standstill. The government says they don't have money. Some people they can go to the political side and say, yeah, you said you wanted to rule. Now, UDC, we voted you, now rule. So they are busy blaming UDC. Don't join them. Don't join them. Where there are problems, ask yourself, how can I solve these problems? The diamonds are not being bought. What can I do? Oh, my dear, listen very carefully. Don't say, I'm still young, I don't know much. Maybe the guys who have been in the industry for long. You can sit down and make a research and come up with a proposal that when you present it to the office of the president, they will say, we have not seen this kind of wisdom. Bring that young lady over here. You begin to explain what it is that can be done. And they begin to say, you know what? Let's patent this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Put some financial muscles around you and help you to actualize it. And tomorrow we hear she is the youngest such and such in the nation. Imagine if we had to solve the problem of the diamonds not being sold in Botswana. You may be given a presidential order of whatever, all those medals of, and you'll be the youngest to receive that. Don't minus yourself from the equation of problem solving in life, no matter how old you are. The KFC gentleman was over 65, and when he was retiring, Colonel Sanders, he knew how to make some fried chicken. So he wanted to give this recipe to some restaurant. He was rejected in every restaurant he went to until he said, well, these guys don't want my recipe. Let me just make my chicken and sell it. And he was in Kentucky, a place called Kentucky. So he called it Kentucky Fried Chicken. An old man who retired, has nothing to do, made this recipe, fried some chicken, gave it to some people, they bought, it got some demand, and today, how many KFCs do we have in the world? Just from a little recipe that he thought it wasn't anything. It's never too late to get it right, no matter how old you are. Even when you are young, you can get it right. You can discover your purpose. You can solve the problems of the world. And when we say solve the problems of the world, we don't mean political things only. There are some students from the school that you used to be. You know what they are struggling with. You know what you struggled with when probably you were staying on campus or in the dormitories. You know what you struggled with, whether to find the right tutors, whether to find whatever, or even to know your purpose, or even to discover the course that you are to do in a few years' time. You didn't know. Career guidance was not all that. Now you can begin to research and say, how can I come up with a career guidance platform that I can sell to the Ministry of Education, and it can go around the country to help the students? Is somebody getting? You can solve the problems of this world. Don't wait for big things. Solve problems around you. Beginning with your family problems. Beginning with your family problems. You realize that and nobody finds where they went. Come up with a device. You see, like we have what is called AirTags. Is it AirTag? What is this thing of Apple? Is the AirTag? So find the one that can be planted, or a chip that can be planted in a cow. So you can find in your phone, in an app, where is this cow? You don't allow your father and the head boy to be running around the bush looking for the homo. No, on the app. On the app, you can see, oh, it's 5 kilometers away. Because that's the problem you always heard your father complaining about. Every day, that program on Radio Botswana, I think, Matimela. Go bona kgomo ya tshipi go logela le seropi. Tshipi ya teng ke 3-1-Y. No, you come up with a solution. Anytime people cry around you, don't just join the conversation. Solve the problems you are hearing. That's the easiest way to discover your purpose. Are you hearing? Some years ago, I said a statement, and it got my wife to do what she's doing. One of the things that she's doing, I said, authors of books are no ordinary people, or extraordinary people rather. They are ordinary people that value their thoughts. They value their thoughts so much that they put their thoughts in a book. And so today, this book came out on Sunday. This is the latest book that my wife has written. It's the 4th book that she has written. Turning your potentials, or turning potential into results, is the 4th book. The last book that she did, do you have the copy of it? And out of that statement of value your thoughts and document them, package them in a book. Authoring books is not that you are smart, you did English at school, literature, The Lion and the Jewel. You don't have to be smart in English literature. Document your thoughts. Package them. Some of you are very good with, what's this thing? Crocheting. Is it crocheting? Knitting, crocheting, whatever it is. You can make clothes that become your brand. This is the last book before this one. Now, why am I bringing this book? Because I have a story of the both. You see this one? This one is how many pages? This one is 72 pages. Can you see? 72. So, when my wife was listening to this book, she said she was contemplating whether to put a picture in the front here or not. And I said, put your picture. She said, but it's a small book. I said, but it's yours. Anybody who will say, how can you put your picture on a small book? Where is theirs? And then she put a picture, 72 pages. 72 pages now turned into 130. It's 130. That's nearly double of the size of this book. You keep growing at it. Let me tell you something. The way to get better at something is to start doing it. Start doing it. Don't wait for the right moment. Now is the moment. Deploy your potential, your abilities. So we have this book, the latest book that she just released. It's available for sale. This coming Saturday, she'll be having an event around this. And this book is not just a book with just words to read. It's like a journal also, where there are questions that you can ask yourself, like this one: what gifts or talents have you hidden in you? What fears keep you from expressing them? So you can write down. You are discovering yourself while you are reading it. You don't just read and say, oh, that was nice. You read and you think and you employ yourself to come up with solutions. Ensure you get this book. If you don't have the ticket, get the ticket for Saturday as well. It's going to be I'm also going to be presenting there. I've been invited to present there as well, even though they have not yet paid my fees, but I trust that as you get your tickets, my fee will be paid. All right? So, guys, that's that. That's how you discover your purpose. That's how you deploy your purpose. All right? I don't think I'm going to take questions. I should. Is there anybody with a question? Do you have questions, comments? You want to say something? Did you get any realization, any understanding? Do you have any comment, any question, any murmuring, any, you have something? All right? This one and that one. What's your name?
My name is Natasha.
Natasha.
Yes.
Talk to me, Natasha.
So, Coach, after going through the whole journey of self-discovery, and I read a lot about a lot of successful people who have self-actualized and came up with ideas that not any ordinary human being can come up with. I've noticed a pattern.
Okay.
Most of them have what we call imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
What is that?
So it's like no matter what you achieve, how much you achieve, you don't find the contentment.
Okay.
You never seem to be satisfied, no matter how big your achievements are.
Yeah.
So then I thought of, as you were talking, I thought of Apostle Paul. You know, he was performing great exploits.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal in his time. But he talked about a thorn in his flesh that stayed no matter how much he tried to maneuver around it.
Yeah.
So my question today is, after self-actualizing, after discovering myself, my passions and my talents, and fully contributing to the world in a phenomenal way, and I'm sitting by myself, how do I find that contentment, that peace around the thorn always being there?
Yeah.
No matter how hard I work and no matter how much I achieve. That is my question.
That's a good one. There are people that can achieve, if I get you correctly, this person can be a great success when it concerns their business, but they have a terrible love life, or something is just not working, or something feels like, or they feel like they are not complete, they are not fulfilled. From my personal experience of discovering your purpose and deploying your gifts and all of that, you will find that sometimes people use the things that they are able to do and they think it's purpose. That's why the lack of fulfillment comes in. So I can become a president and still feel like I'm not fulfilled, because maybe being the president was not really my purpose. Your job, your career, your business is not your purpose, even though your job, your career can advance your purpose. So you will find that a person can be in business and they are intelligent, naturally gifted, whatever they do works. So whatever they are going to do that will work may not necessarily be the thing that is their thing. See, the challenge with talented people is this: they never know what to do. Because let's say you can sing, you can play soccer, you can play tennis, you can I mean, you are good with the sciences, you are good with this and that. You become, what's the English word? A jack of all trades, but a master of none. So the reason why I'm doing this teaching is because there is a path that is outlined for everyone. And you must find that path. Now, when you find that path, it's not even about achieving. It's like me coming here. I'll tell you what happened to me some years ago when he started La Premier. Every time I come from La Premier, and that time we were staying in Block 8, and I'm driving back home, I'll get to the traffic lights, and I'm stopping there waiting for it to get green. I will take a deep breath. I will feel so fulfilled that I poured my heart in the lives of all the people that are there, and I'll be so happy. I will smile to myself alone in the car. Now, I did not make money by coming to La Premier. It is free admission. I did not get paid. I just spoke. It is something that I'm wired to do, to talk to people, to empower people, to know that I said a statement that can change somebody's life forever. That is my area. It is not money related. It is not material acquisition related. Something that bears from the inside. So whatever it is that you are doing, ensure that it bears witness with you on the inside, more than what it is getting you on the outside. And how I discovered my purpose, my mentor said this: what is it that you can do that even if you are not paid, you will still do it? See, I come here and I am here. If I'm to talk in any platform right now and they invite me, one company invites me to come and talk, I'll charge them 20,000 for 1 hour. And you guys just got my 1 hour, 30 minutes, and I've not charged you anything. Because this thing here, doing this is what I like. I suffocate if I don't talk. Like for real. You see, if you take a fish out of the water, it starts suffocating and dying, right? But you throw it back into the water, the thing starts showing, say, let me show you my talent. It starts moving around, right? Because it's made for the water. So even with me, I'm made to talk. I don't struggle with it. And no matter how much I'm paid, sometimes I go and talk for free when the only people that I charge is the ones that I know they make money, companies. If I go one invitation from somewhere, I go, I talk, I'm happy, I'm done. So whatever you are doing, more than the results you are getting, more than the accolades, check how it is, how it's leaving you feeling on the inside. Are you fulfilled? Are you happy? Do you love doing what you're doing? I said to my wife when she was doing her books, I said, it's not about how many books you sell. It's about seeing your name written here. That's enough. That you sold 5 books, it doesn't matter. It's about seeing your name. You are not writing books to be known, to make money. You are writing books because there is a talent in you that you are deploying. Yes, of course, later on, talent begins to benefit you. But never miss the mark and now start focusing on the rewards of the talent. Let the talent continue to be your main focus. See, when I tell my wife sometimes about the soccer guys and how much they earn, and I'll be like, this guy is 25 years old and he's earning per week 300,000 pounds, like Erling Haaland. And my wife will, or 500,000 pounds. And I say, if you convert that to Botswana Pula, hey, my wife, that's like 10 million Pula per week. She'll be like, now just play 1 month and retire. and I'm saying that deliberately because this is the statement I'll say back to her. They are not playing for the money. He's playing because of the love of the game. When he comes out of the tunnel into the pitch and the crowd is cheering, that sound is more than the paycheck. You get? So many people later on, they make it about the paycheck and not about the talent and the fulfillment of the talent. So never ever mix the two. Of course, later on, the talent can pay you, but the rewards are not what you focus on. Dango, give me your name and tell me what you are thinking. Oh Lord, my time is up.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, you can talk.
Okay, my name is Tato.
Tato.
Yes. So my question goes like this. Okay, thank you by the way for the presentation, even though I came late, but it's very same.
Yeah.
So you did mention that you didn't go to school, like how you so hated school. Over the weekend we were at church, right?
Okay.
For a certain thing, right? So I was saying to my friend, most of the people in leadership are those who are educated. So we came to the conclusion that people who are educated have a way that they think. So right now you're saying that you didn't really finish school, but look at the things that you have achieved.
Okay.
Like, how did you get that? Like, how did you? Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a very important question, Tato, right? Education is not, there are different kinds of education. What people do at the University of Botswana is called formal education, where you now get a degree, get certified, and all of that. But there is informal education. For example, me personally, I read about 8 books minimum in a month. Every month, without fail. So that's more than what a person with a degree reads in a month. Right? So I may not have the graduation from a formal institution, but if I sit with people with master's degrees, PhDs, I'll never forget one time I was invited to go and make a presentation at the Attorney General Chambers. And I think I had, the guys that were there, the minimum of them had a master's degree. And they came to listen to me. You know, guys, that when they get into the room, you look at their shoe, you look at their tie, you know that this is crocodile leather shoe. Right? But the thing was, and I believe in education, by the way, even the people at church and those around me, I encourage them to go for education. It's not everyone, and I don't want people to think that because Coach BF did not complete at school, you will always have peculiar cases. I may be a peculiar case. I did not fail because I was stupid. I was just in the wrong courses. Because I was good in the sciences, I thought let me do engineering. Because I was good with math and accounts and commerce, when I failed engineering, I said let me do BCom in accounting. Come back from South Africa, let me do BSc. Right? Education comes from different platforms. And sometimes people who are formally educated, that's where they miss it. Because they think because they went to university, they are educated. And they are not life educated. They are engineering educated, medicine educated, law educated, but they are not life educated. That's why I committed myself to be a lifelong learner. So one time I was making a presentation, and when I finished the presentation, there was a gentleman in the crowd. He came to me afterwards. He was doing his master's degree in that field, and he said to me, "Sir, the thing you just presented is only learned at the doctorate level in this field. How did you know these things?" I did not know that it is the doctorate level of things. I do my researches every day. I'm a curious person. I research, I find things out, write them, put them there, and then I keep presenting them here and there. So I can converse with a president. I can converse with a CEO. I can converse with a professor as if I've been to their institutions. So more than even you being a student, please learn from various topics and read various books and articles. Just be curious to know. Damage every form of ignorance inside you. So the formal education is like the basic thing that helps you to learn, but it is not where you should end. I dare say this, we have a lot of illiterate graduates. Doesn't sound nice, right? We have a lot of illiterate graduates. They only graduated at the university, but they are not masters of knowledge. Because even graduating at the university, you can graduate by what I can derive. It's not like you really know the subject matter. Yeah. So I encourage you to learn beyond the formal education. And anytime you have an opportunity to be in the formal space, why not? Like some of you are. Get there, get certified, but don't limit yourself to just what you get from an institution. Okay? Beautiful. Is there any other? We are done? We are done, right? How are we?